Today we reach a really critical crossroad, and that is addiction to superficial sound. And I call this a dead end in audio, and I unfortunately see that there's a lot of people who run into this dead end, especially if you are freshly exposed to the audiophile world, and more often in the United States than in other parts of the world. I do see that people become addicted just for the sound itself and not for the music. And people are looking to find a mirror that so that the sound that the equipment reproduces, it resembles more what you hear in live. So it resembles the accuracy, the dynamics, frequency range, resolution. So when you start thinking about these terms and these terms alone, and you want the sound only for the sake of the sound and only to tick in check marks in your book, then I would say this is a dead end. And it is because for me, being an audiophile, it means that I'm striving to reach a connection with music. So why am I getting into this subject? Well, I'm getting into this subject because going back to Andrew Robinson's video, 10 Things I Used to Believe About Hi-Fi, one of the things he says that he used to believe that to be an audiophile, you need to own high-end equipment. And he says now he changed his beliefs, and if you own a Bose soundbar, then it's okay to be called an audiophile. And that really got me thinking, because there's like so many definitions of what an audiophile is. Everyone basically has to define it for himself. But if we give a definition, each of us, to the term audiophile, then it really doesn't mean anything. And now Andrew gave a totally different definition than was the common definition. The word used to be coined, I think it was coined by Harry Pearson, who is the godfather of high-end audio. And basically, if I want to summarize how Harry Pearson's definition and goals and descriptions define audiophile for me. So in me, his words and what the industry sees in audiophile term, it means that there's a distinction between consumer level audio and audiophile audio. And when you are at an audiophile level, it means that you are getting additional transparency and you are getting imaging. So these are the two key features that make an audiophile equipment different from commercial equipment, is that you have transparency and imaging. I have not heard that Bose soundbar that he's talking about, but I'm beyond doubtful that a soundbar can give you imaging. And it's not a reflection on Bose. It's the property of soundbar technology. It's not good enough to give us 3D imaging that audiophile equipment do. So I think per definition, none of the soundbars meet the audiophile criteria. They do not even meet the high fidelity criteria, which is a looser criteria than audiophile. So I understand Andrew, and he's trying to say that if anyone can be a music enthusiast, so you can be excited about sound and music and you don't need to own expensive gear. Yes, I agree with him completely on that. You don't need a fancy gear. If you listen to music Santana on your cell phone, and you are happy with it, that's fantastic. You can enjoy music from any source. You can whistle it, and you can still enjoy Santana just by whistling it. Uh, However, how I know audiophiles, how I know myself, all of us, we call ourselves audiophile because we go to town to strive for better sound, to reach a higher level of sound reproduction, to get higher level of transparency, imaging, and just get above the consumer level. And there's nothing wrong with the consumer level, but that is an expression form to connect to music at a level where an average person connects to. And audiophile is called an audiophile because we want a deeper connection to sound and music than an average person does. And if you take an average Yamaha sound system and you look for the level of immersion that it can give you on, let's say, a Brahms piece, and you compare it to what Bose can do for you, I have found that Bose is connecting to classical music at a much poorer level than a commercial system can do. So it is not moving towards the audiophile category, but it's moving more away from it than an average good consumer system does. So I understand if you buy any kind of equipment that you can afford, then you are a music enthusiast. But I would say that Bose is not an affordable equipment. It's higher price than the average consumer product. And if you are really excited about sound and music, then and you are moderately informed, then you would go and buy a Yamaha sound system at the half a price of a Bose, and it would give you a much more audiophile experience. However, I don't want to diss Bose and make the impression that Bose sucks, because Bose has really fantastic engineers. I have a friend of mine, and he was an engineer at Bose, and they do a lot of groundbreaking work. Basically, today that we have these small miniature speakers producing really amazing sound for their size is largely responsible for the works of the Bose company. They've been the pioneers on how to make loudspeakers really tiny, and so tiny that they really almost defy the laws of physics, that they really get to the boundaries of sound reproduction. And yes, it's a huge advancement as far as miniaturization goes, but it's not a step towards higher sound quality. If you want that, then you need to run the opposite direction, not miniaturization, but towards stepping up in sound quality. And to me, that is the audiophile way. However, I started this video with the dead end in audio, and how you go about stepping up the sound reproduction quality can lead you to two places, can lead you to long-lasting happiness, or can lead you to a dead end. And when it leads you to long-lasting happiness is when you have equipment that, when it translates music for you, it brings you to the same emotional and mental state as you are listening to a live performance. So when you are listening to your favorite Brahms, Vivaldi, or Mozart, then if you have the same experience while they are playing for you at the Philharmonic, or while you are listening to it at your home, if you feel the same thing, then you have a perfect audio system, and then you have reached the pinnacle of audiophilehoodness. However, if you just get bogged down into the details that Did I have the same microdynamics on the triangle, or when I hear the guitar plugged, did it exactly sound in the space where it was recorded? And getting into such stuff, well, it's for one thing, I acknowledge it as achieving tremendous achievements in the engineering sense, in sound reproduction sense. But I have found when you follow this route, and you engineers and you audiophile who root for these products and this line of development, I found that those of you who go that route, we never reach happiness. And I found that they suffer from major insecurities, and it's going to get worse and worse. So 5 years from now, you will be at a worse situation. So you will be more mentally and emotionally unbalanced. You will want to dump more and more money into your hobby, and you will burn out. This route cannot be followed to completion. The only audiophile route that can lead to happiness and fulfillment is when you try to connect with music and not with some sort of unattainable ideals of perfection. So thank you for tuning in, and if you have ideas, just share it on the comment section. And thank you. Please like and subscribe. Bye bye.